This is my breakfast for May the 28th at 10 a.m. I already had my first breakfast, the roasters and the coffee. Oh, it hurt so bad. I really tweaked it. I was, it's really twinging. This isn't really helping. It's gonna be hard for me to concentrate to even talk. I was moving the peat bells little by little, very sensibly, and I got it done. And then right at the end, I had moved some peat from, like, little by little from one tub into another for holding while I was moving the stuff. And I just tried to pull the full tub closer to where I was working, and stupid, stupid things like that. But I think I worked up enough of an appetite that I'm going to eat this whole thing. Usually when I've been making them, I have been eating the whole thing. This is huge. I'm going to need to take some leave. But I managed to get them planted before I gave up on trying to work with this, so. And we'll see what we can get done to these tomatoes tonight. I just won't push it too hard. Man, that's delicious. Seriously, try I put the tahini sumac sort of dressing on here. Try your bami with that. It's good. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get the tomatoes done tonight. Really stupid. I'm going to take some leaf. I'm going to try to walk it off. If that doesn't work, I'll have a hot bath. At least the food's good. try to look over there. And James isn't here, so he doesn't need a spot. Who was it that said inspiration comes while you were working? I can't remember. Anyway, it's funny how that happens. Like, I was working away, and I mean, it helped that I was doing something that was sort of similar. Like, I moving the peep bells, the wall had collapsed, right, that the peep bells were on the west side. And now it might have had something to do with the fact that somebody had cut all of my sunflower heads off of my sunflowers, so it might have been the added weight of actual people up there harvesting my sunflowers. But I don't know. I didn't build it very well, honestly. It came down, so all I can hope is that they scraped themselves a little or something like that while they were still in my sunflowers. But anyway, I didn't tell James about it. I just told him the wall broke. I didn't tell him that the sunflower heads were missing, because he would have been upset. And why upset him? Anyway, it's just a few sunflower heads. I mean, it's annoying because if that caused the wall to break, that was a lot of work that I put into building the thing, and then having to disassemble it was more work. And so now I'll have to rebuild it, and my back is hurt right now. And I mean, every time this happens, that my back gets tweaked a bit and starts twinging. I wonder, okay, how much more of this can I do? You know, realistically, should I be doing any of it? You know, and but without gardening and hiking, I have nothing. So I do it. Anyway. But anyway, what I was thinking, like James, he has this kind. Holy moly! He has this kind of. Well, he played sports in university. That's what I blame it on. Lucky me, I have it started to become hard for me to breathe and stuff when I was a teenager. And in high school, all the way through school, I was always in choir, and I'd go to the competitions and stuff. And, I didn't like singing solo. I did that when I was little, and then once I got to be older, I chose not to do that. I didn't want to. Not that I wasn't good, but the best I ever won was second prize. So anyway, which is fine. But anyway, I love choir. But in high school, I realized if you can't, I was having a harder time breathing, and I was having a harder time nailing the note. If it had been simple, I didn't even have to think about it before it just came out right. You know, the only problem I had was the solo. I got really nervous. I didn't like being solo. In choir, you just hiding amongst the other people, and there's a strength in that, right? So it's like you don't even exist. You're a part of something, and it exists apart from you. I don't know. I always loved singing in choir, but I didn't like singing solo. Anyway, so I stopped singing in high school at some point. I can't remember when. But that was why. And, oh my God. I like to sing in, at home when nobody can hear me. But the dogs, they don't care. And usually it works out okay. I mean, James thinks it's great. He says, wow, you could do this professionally. I sing harmony really well. So I wouldn't, I'd never want to be a lead singer. I'd rather just be backup. But James can't sing very well. He tries. And I really like his enthusiasm. I love that he sings, but it just doesn't, it's not as musical as mine is. But anyway, where was I going? It's very hard to talk about anything when you're in pain. It's really distracting. Anyway, don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, astigmatism, yeah. So there was no way. When I was, there came to be a point, I used to be really active as a child, and always running around, and then I didn't have the air, right? I didn't know what it was, but it was harder to breathe, and I'd get dizzy and whatever. So I couldn't do it at one point. I think I was about 12, maybe 11, when I realized I couldn't. Anyway, so there was no way I was going to play sports in university. And it's funny, I certainly, I'm an ideas person. Some people can go their whole life without having a good idea. And me, ideas fly at me. James he'd always, when we were first dating, he'd say, gosh, I have to use that in a poem or something. I'd say something, whatever. Or he was always impressed, and that made me feel good, that he was impressed. And I'd always say, oh, well, you use it, and he never does. But, or maybe he has, maybe he hasn't told me, I don't know. I don't care. I mean, ideas, I have so many. It's like hundreds a day. I'm just constantly thinking and about things. So anyway, I was working and it's really hard to concentrate. And James had said, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna, like one of my fences that had been nailed a couple times. I think one of the times it was a garbage truck that hit it. But anyway, so it had been nailed a few times, and the posts broke. First I noticed one broke, but then all three broke in a row. Anyway, so and they're concreted in. And when I put that fence in, I wanted to do a very good job. And so I dug the holes down as far as the post hole digger would go. So they're about 4 feet down and concreted in. So James is like, well, we're going to have to get a pry bar. We're going to have to pull those up. And I'm like, concrete? No, I don't want to. Anyway, so I was thinking, well, I was working. And I think what I can do is, like, I'll dig down the posts right away, and then I'll take a hole saw and I'll drill down into the wood, and then I'll drill other holes and I'll chip the wood out, and then I will put those metal posts into the wood. You see what I'm saying? And then I'll build a frame with wood, and I'm gonna concrete that in. So I'll put some rebar in, run it across, and I'm going to concrete that. I'm going to build a concrete wall around those posts that are already 4 feet down the concrete. Do you see what I'm saying? It makes sense. Anyway, so a lot of my things, I won't do it right away. I won't, if something breaks, I won't fix it right away or whatever. I'm just thinking on it. And sometimes it takes me a long time to think through, to come up with it. I mean, I'll come up with several ideas, but none that I'm really very happy with, but I'm happy with this one. And it took me a while to come up with it. The fence broke last fall, I can't remember exactly when. And James wanted me to fix it right away, and I was just like, it doesn't need to be fixed right away. And I didn't want to start it with the weather might move in and then I wouldn't get it done and whatever. So I'm like, it can just sit. So, but it's funny how when he says something, he's like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. And it's like, no. I have been put. And my ideas are often better. So I'll have to propose this to him in a way that he still feels like he has the deciding vote or something. Because that's the way I think almost all men are. They like to feel in charge. So that's what I usually do. I usually just say, hey, what do you think about this? And then it goes through. It's fine. All I need is like some sort of thing, like to hold me up underneath my armpits and just follow me around. That's what I need. Because I can't hold up my own back anymore. So. It really hurts. But anyway, the rain's gonna come tomorrow. And I don't know if those tomatoes are gonna get done. But you know, I planted a lot of things, and I'll have a lot of food. And if I have to compost the tomato plants, I don't care. I hurt. Anyway, I wanted to do some computer work or something today. Oh, I can't stay up. Oh, stupid back. And let's see if I can walk it off. Planted so many morning glories. I love them. I've grown a few different kinds in the past. Let's see how these ones are. You can get a good blue off a morning glory. There we go. We were talking about blue flowers. You can get some good blue morning glory. But as much as I hurt myself here, keep in mind, I'm already working with regenerated discs, so don't just think, oh, I'm not going to peat bale garden because it's going to blow me, my back, not blow. Whatever. But because that's not the case. I mean, whatever you're using, you can use a dolly or a cart or even a wheelbarrow to move things. You don't have to be packing it. You just have to be careful about things. Like when you're gonna hurt yourself, it's gonna be like I did, just stupid, just trying to pull it to me right at the end. I should have taken a break long before. I was already getting hot and tired, and I needed a break, and I didn't take it, and then I was doing stupid things like that. That's what happened. So that's how everyone does it. You get too tired and you're not thinking clearly. And you're also thinking, I need a break, so you're trying to hurry, so you're cutting corners. Boy. What I was going to say is, wherever you decide to, like, it's great to do peat bale gardening if you have a spot that isn't really a garden spot, not something you want to set up as a permanent garden spot, but you're not using it at that moment for really anything, so it may as well be a peat bale garden. Or you could also just use peat bale gardening to figure out where you want a permanent garden spot before you put it in. So like I have a friend who does lasagna gardening. A lot of people like that. And I have another friend at the other end of the country who is really into raised planters. That's how she does her garden. It's all raised planters. So they're very different kind of gardeners, and I adore them both. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Peat bale gardening. So you might think about going to all the work. Now, when I was a teenager, I literally dug up a patch of garden for myself. Like, I dug up the sod, and I did the thing where you turn the soil and turn the soil and a lot of work. So you keep moving the soil, and like, it's stupid. Too much work. So I definitely go lasagna garden over that, because that's ridiculous. I've done it. And but however you want to set up a permanent bed, it's going to be some work. Like, I can't even imagine trying to use a rototiller with my back. So there's no way I'm going to do that. Anyway, but you don't want to set up the permanent spot and then realize, oh, I don't actually like gardening here, or what I wanted to put here doesn't grow here.